Hey y'all, it's Angela, and today I'm going to be doing a full face of makeup, but high school style. So let's get into this. So in high school, I was still a lover of makeup, but I didn't really wear as much as I do now. So, start off, I never used a primer. So, we are going to go straight into foundation. And I used to do my foundation before my concealer, and every once in a while I kind of switch it back and forth now. But currently, well, back then, I used to do foundation and concealer, so that's what we're gonna do. So I went back and forth. I used to use the CoverGirl 3-in-1 liquid foundation, or most days whenever I didn't have time, I would use stick foundations. And I went back and forth between two of my favorites. The first being the Maybelline Fit Me Stick Foundation. And that's what I used from like freshman year, sophomore year, I think into my junior year. So then I found the e.l.f. moisturizing foundation stick. So I never did, also, I never did my eyeshadow before my foundation. I didn't care about fallout. I never even really thought about fallout to begin with. So we are just going to stripe this on my face. And it might be a little dark for me because this is my perfect summer color, but obviously it's almost winter now. Technically, I don't think it actually is yet. So, I used to use the off-brand beauty blenders. Now, not what I use now, not like the Real Technique versions, but the really cheap ones, like off of Wish cheap. But before I did that, I used my hands. So we're gonna go ahead and go in and use our hands to blend this. So there's my foundation. And I kind of did the same routine with concealer. I just used my fingers, or I used my little Wish beauty blenders, which were terrible, by the way. They were so hard and didn't expand at all. So anyway, onto my concealer. I actually still use this stuff today. Like, it's some of my favorite, but back whenever I was in high school, I would use it because it was good, but I knew I probably shouldn't, and I'll tell you why in a second. It is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circle Treatment Concealer. And this is in the shade Light. And the foundation stick that I used is in the shade Natural. So, I'm going to put it on, just dot it under the eyes. I actually used another Maybelline concealer too. It was the Liquid Fit Me, and I did the triangles before like anyone else did them. I know, I am so hipster, but I did. And whenever I was in kindergarten, I'd be putting my concealer on. People would be like, "Oh, what are you doing? Concealer doesn't go there. Like, why are you putting it so low?" And I'm just like, I don't know. I like it. But anyway, I wouldn't use this concealer because it actually like burned my under eyes, and I'm assuming that's whatever they put in here to help with what's it called, with wrinkles. So, but it hurt so bad, like it stung. So I mean, I kept using it because I really liked it, and it's great on dark circles. I mean, it's even in the name, like dark circle eraser, but like it hurt so bad. So I'm just gonna finish blending all this in. And we are done. So, whenever I was in high school, how many times can I say that this whole video? I did use powder, and I used the e.l.f. mattifying powder, and it was in this little compact, and I believe it was like $3, and that stuff was amazing, but I ran out, like I hit pan, I went through at least 4 or 5 of those in 2 years. And it was great, it worked amazingly, but you just ran out so fast. So now what I'm using is not on my desk. Okay, it has been found. So now what I'm using is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. Um, it's very similar. This one I think actually sets your makeup just a little bit better. So what I would do is take, honestly, I think this is the exact brush that I would take for my powder. I use it for bronzer now, but back then I used it for powder. And just set my face. And I would definitely overset it, so we're going to use a lot more powder than we should. Because I was like, oh, I am so oily, but really, no, I'm not. I have combination to dry skin. The only places I really get oily are, actually, the only places I get really oily are my eyelids, which is really weird. But, yeah, so after that, I refused to put on blush. I would not put on blush. I have very red skin, so I was like, I just put all this foundation on to even out my skin tone and get rid of the redness. Why would I put it back on? So, no blush. Moving on, I did, however, love to contour, and I would do a very heavy contour. And I use the exact same palette now. Well, not the exact same. The same palette, but a new one of it, because obviously makeup got old. But I use the e.l.f. contour palette, and this is in the shade Assorted. I believe now they have like a light and a deep shade in each palette, but I haven't like repurchased it since that change. So it looks like this. It has like a beige, a whitish highlight. This is more of a bronzer, and then here's my contour. And honestly, that's the only shade I use in this, which is why I don't use it near as much anymore, because I feel like using it for one shade is kind of ridiculous, and I know e.l.f. isn't going to be watching this because I'm just starting, but they need, so these pop out. You can like mix and match. They have so many different palettes. They need to sell like each shade individually, because I mean they already pop out. You could just replace them. And so like I think that's such a good idea. But so the contour shade looks like this. Let's see. It's extremely, extremely cool toned. And actually, thinking about it, I mean, it could come off kind of muddy, but we will see. So I use just a Wet n Wild contour brush. Most of these brushes I didn't use back then. I honestly don't know what I used back then when it came to brushes besides my powder brush. But so we're gonna apply this, and we're gonna go in very heavy-handed, not tap off the excess, and just suck in your cheeks and get contouring. And this seems about right. So I did not use much of a highlight at all. So I left my face very matte, and then I would go on to brows. So brows, I use this e.l.f. compact. It's a little brow kit in the shade medium. They have a light, a medium, and a dark. And the product looks like this. There went the brush. It has a powder and then a gel. I'm getting used to this whole reverse reaction thing. And it comes with a little brush. It comes with a powder, like a floofy brush for the powder, and then a angled brush for the gel. So what I would do, and I'm going to open up my other contact here so I can look into a mirror, is I would take this shade right here and get it loaded, and then I would kind of like tap and swipe into the powder. And I would do Sharpie brows. I haven't used this product in so long, so it's probably gonna look a lot worse than it did in high school. I used to get actually a lot of compliments on my brows in high school. Okay, so here are my brows, the finished product. They really don't look that bad, honestly, and the color match is really nice for my hair. But as you can see, they're very blocked off. This one is uneven, but that's just because I overplucked this one doing my brows the other day. Um, and I never used a spoolie. I never used a gel or anything. This is how it turns out. This is how it's staying. So, moving on to eyeshadow. I would never wear eyeshadow to school. That simply being I just didn't have time for it and I didn't see it essential to my makeup routine. So originally I thought, okay, I just won't wear eyeshadow in the video. But then I remembered, and thank you to one of my best friends from high school, Bree. She reminded me that every time that we hung out, we would do rainbow eyeshadow. And by rainbow eyeshadow, I mean taking the eyeshadow red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, blending it a little, calling it quits. And it was a cool concept, never really worked out very well. So then I was like, okay, I should do rainbow eyeshadow for this video. But I'm gonna do it differently. I'm not gonna do just a terrible attempt at ombre. I am going to use like crease colors under the eye, smoked out shadow. I'm gonna go full out. So I'm gonna be using there we go. Okay, so I'm going to be using 3 different palettes today because I don't have any of my rainbow eyeshadows anymore. They were all either lost, they were thrown out, or honestly, most of the rainbow eyeshadows I would borrow from Bree. So, we're going to be jumping back and forth between 3 palettes. The first one is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette. It's Mad for Matte 2 in the shade Summer Breeze. Apparently that's like a shade name now. And the only shade that we're going to be taking out of this is this purple right here because I really like this. And I'm going to put this in like my crease area and try to make that work. I'm not going to be using any actual transition shades because I never used that color. I'm only going to be using colors that I used in my original makeup look. I'm just going to like rearrange how I use them. So from the next one, it's the Icon by Absolute New York eyeshadow palette, and it's in the shade Twilight. And I'm gonna be using this red, this blue, and this yellow. The yellow shade name is called Dawn, the blue is called Sapphire, and the red is called Orchid. And for our final palette, this is where we're going to be getting our orange and our green. I'm going to be using this orange right here, and then this green over here. So my plan for this eye is to be using so ombre, yellow, orange to red on the lid. And then we're going to do purple in the outer V and the crease, and then green to blue to smoke out the lower lash line. The purple does seem very intimidating to just throw into your crease, and honestly, you should definitely use a transition shade for that. But this purple, it seems really intimidating in the pan, but once you put it on your eyes, it really kind of thins out. I was honestly kind of disappointed with this purple when I tried the palette, but you can definitely build it up, and it's great. So I did not use eye primer, so we're just going to get started. So I'm just going to use a flat shader brush and go into the yellow from the Icon by Absolute New York palette. which again is the Dawn. And we're going to see how this goes. Okay, so there's the yellow. The pigment barely shows up. It is a very light yellow, but it is very brightening for the inner corners. So we're going to move on out to the orange, and the orange is from the NYX palette. This is the NYX Happy Birthday palette, I forgot to mention. This one retails for $18, but I got it as a birthday gift from Ulta this year. So we're taking this matte orange, doing the same thing. We're going to use the same brush because we're going light to dark, so it's not really going to matter that much. And we're going to put that in like the middle to the outer edge-ish. Like middle, you know, like the middle third of your eye. And you're going to try to put it a little bit on top of this yellow just to help blending to begin with. And there's the orange. So I'm holding off on blending, and at the end I'm going to go in and blend everything all together. I'm just placing the color where I want it right now. So next we're going to go into the red, which is the red from the Icon palette. Again, it's called Orchid. Again, I'm going to go into that same brush. And it's a very, like a deeper red. Kind of more of a berry, actually. And oh, that's a lot more pigmented than I expected. That's nice. Can you see that? It's right there. And there is already a crazy amount of fallout, which I should have expected. And I don't know how I never had issues with fallout in high school. I mean, again, I never really even used eyeshadow to begin with in high school. So, I mean, if I could avoid it. So I guess that's probably why. Okay. So there's my top colors. Now I'm going to go in with a blending brush. I'm just going to use this Wet n Wild crease brush. I'm going to blow off this fallout because, whew. And we're going to go into that purple from the Mad for Matte 2, which I forgot to mention is $10. Definitely worth every penny. I love this thing. So, just get in there. It's not very, there's not a whole lot of fallout in this with this color, so you can really just get in there with the colors. I'm gonna grab my mirror again. So far this is what we have. Then we're gonna go into the blue and the green. So I'm gonna do green on like the second third of my lid, not my lid, the second third of my lower lash line, and then the blue on the outer third. So to start with the green, we're going to go into the Happy Birthday palette, and it is a very earthy green. So I'm going to go into that shade with my AOA Studio E24 brush. We're going to grab the green, and we're going to go to the second 2/3. So, hopping into the Icon palette again, I'm grabbing Sapphire, which is this shade right here. And we're going to put that on our outer third of our lid, of our crease. And what a surprise, my dog wants in. I have a feeling that's going to happen in just about every one of my videos. So, So you're going to add that to the outer third of the lower lash line. And here's the finished eye look. But as you can see, without the transition shade, it was kind of difficult to get that purple going. But besides that, I kind of like it, and I might wear colors more often because I've really stuck with a warm neutral trend. So, moving on to mascara. In high school, I used either the Falsies Maybelline mascara, which I loved, but around my junior year, I got extremely sensitive eyes, and that stuff did not do well for me. So I went on the hunt for something that was similar, that was great for sensitive eyes, and what I found was Physicians Formula Organic Wear Mascara. And there's a green one and a pink one, and I prefer the pink one because it's actually called the False Out Mascara. Fake Out Mascara, I apologize. Um, and so this gives you like a false lash effect. And it is $9.95 currently. They do still sell it. It's hard to find in store though, so you're gonna have to go online. So I would just apply that to my top lashes. One other thing that I would always do in high school, no matter if I wore eyeshadow or not, I would add a white liner to my waterline. And now I still kind of like that trick, but I would prefer to find a good nude liner. So if you guys have any recommendations, hit a girl up, because drugstore recommendations. I'm a poor college girl. I can't afford high makeup right now. So I'm going to add that in my waterline. And now there's the finished look. This liner isn't really that good either, and I don't think it stays that long. I've never tried any of the other versions. This is the Maybelline Lasting Drama liner in white. I've never tried any other colors, but this one I'm not that impressed with. So we are on to the very last thing, which is what I was known for in high school, and that was my liquid lipstick. I followed 2 steps. Never really exfoliated my lips. What I would do was whenever I was brushing my teeth, just rub the bristles all over your lips. Works great. What I would do though, I would take this, which is not focusing. There we go. It's the e.l.f. Primer and Plumper. And what you would do is, so this side is the plumper, and then this side is primer, which looks kind of like a concealer stick, honestly. So this one is very like menthol-y, and I'd apply it, and then you go in with the prime side. And this is supposed to intensify the color of whatever lipstick you're wearing. Really, you could just do this with like concealer or whenever you're putting on foundation. And so now, like I said, my liquid lipsticks, what I was known for, and I always use Colourpop. It has to be Colourpop. And honestly, I only go through like 2 different brands now, and that's Maybelline and Colourpop when it comes to liquid lipsticks. So this one is in the shade Clueless, and it is my favorite nude of all time. I'll give you a little swatch. I've repurchased this. I think it's been 3 or 4 times now. And it's a deep, like, dusty rose mauve color. So there's a swatch. I just love this color so much. And I would not lip line. So we're just going to go straight in. And there it is. I decided to choose this color, 1, because this is the color I used to use all the time, and 2, it's nude, so it kind of complements the eye look. So here's the final look. I hope you guys had a wonderful time with me today. and I hope you all had a wonderful week. And if you did enjoy this video, you can hit that subscribe button down below, become a member of the Fun Game fam. Let me know that you liked this video by hitting that like button. And I will see you all next week, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and that you just stay wonderful until I see you again. Bye!